Hey there, Matt. As the season's starting to become real, when you look around at this cast, how much, how high is the ceiling for this team? How much potential does this group have?
Um, it's how high, however we make it. You got a mature group. We bring in a very talented freshman. Um, we everybody that has returned has made a big play impact on our season last year. When it came to any game, um, and then with Greg Brown in addition, like we have our ceiling is whatever we make it.
Yeah, and I had a follow up with Greg. Do you have to balance embracing the incredible skill set he brings to the team with also reminding him, hey, you're still a freshman. There's things to learn, keeping him humble, that kind of thing.
Yeah, like Greg, he fits how we want to play this year with just playing fast, getting up and down. Uh, he brings the dynamic of having athletic wings with him, Kai Jones, Donovan Williams, being long, athletic, being able to move, being mobile. Um, he understands that it's not as easy as he thought it would be. Just every day in practice, just him being challenged and held accountable. But he's a fast learner. He's an elite player, and when the lights turn on, he'll be ready.
Dustin, go ahead.
Matt, you mentioned how you guys want to play, and Greg fitting that perfectly. A lot of talk about wanting to play faster. What that look like? What have you guys done in practice that you think observers will notice about just and tempo and the speed? And is that to just transition, or can that be in the half court?
It's off of another team's make, another team's miss. Um, 1 through 4 being able to push it, just getting out in transition, less dribbling, more passing, and with guys like Kai, Donovan, Greg, allowing them to excel in their strengths, myself as well, just getting out, playing transition, playing fast. Um, we don't want to be stagnant. We want to play to everybody's abilities, and that's everybody's strengths on our team is getting up and down.
And speaking to the abilities, this Andrew brought up when I talked to him a while ago, and I didn't realize it, but you guys were still kind of learning how to play together. You guards, him, Courtney, and yourself as well, because Andrew, just through the process wasn't fully cleared until the end there. How much has this preseason and the off season allowed you guys as guards to better understand how you complement each other on the floor? And do you envision a lot of times when you three guys will be out there together?
Yeah, recently in practice, coach has put us on the same team so that we could just get a feel and build the chemistry of playing with each other and alongside of each other, and just building that chemistry and being able to make plays for each other. Because at the end of the day, like that's what it comes down to, like making more plays than the other team and us having the ability to make plays for each other and making life easy for one another.
Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, Matt, during that 5-game win streak that y'all went on last year, you were just kind of playing backs against the wall, heads down, just kind of, the defense was really ratcheted up. It just felt like you guys were putting your heads down and going for it. How do you take what worked during that streak from last year and apply it to this year, knowing that, you don't have that short rotation anymore, that you do have depth and that you do have Greg, but obviously y'all did a lot of good things during that run.
Just taking that momentum or that period of that time in that win streak is carrying that over and having the same mindset of, you know what, guys, like we're a mature group. We have all guys returning. A lot has gone on this past year off the court, and like why not for this team to be one of the great Texas teams to walk on this campus. And I think that's been the biggest like motivation, the biggest like the biggest want to out of everything, just wanting to be that caliber Texas team that we know we can be, and that the teams have done in the past. Well, in like since 2008. So
Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, Matt, but I wanted to ask you about, talking about that streak. I still go back to the Texas Tech game and the on-court intensity and attitude that y'all had that day. How much did y'all talk about that, as the months went by, about that is what we need to have all the time?
I mean,
or not? Maybe you didn't. I don't know.
Since we've been back, I mean, we watch film on just like style of play and different moments of this is how we want to be, and then in the same token, you can show moments of this is not how we want to be.
Mhm.
But just we haven't talked about it a lot because we know like that's who we are and that's who we need to be. It's just living it every day and moving forward.
And then let me ask you more about Greg. How has it gone with him and Jericho, or him and Royce, or whatever combination is out there? How do you feel like the veterans have kind of taken him in and shown him what they know with his athleticism?
The biggest thing is just not letting anything off the hook for him. I mean, he's one hell of a player. He's gonna take bad shots because he doesn't know yet. But he's gonna make up for it because at the end of the day, he's a player. He wants to win. He wants to impact the game so that we can win. I don't know if I worded that right, but he's a winner. He's a winner. And in practice, we've shown different matchups, different teams, and who fits well playing alongside each other. I think just with Greg, he's a hard worker, a very hard worker. He wants it. He tries his best to focus in on the details of things, and he asks questions. I think that's big. Like he asks questions. He'll text me every day after practice and ask me, what did you see out there? What can I do better? So I really take note of that. So.
Roger, go ahead.
Hey, Matt, I know every season opener, there's a lot of anticipation, but considering being in that locker room in Kansas City and, how not only that came to an end, but your season came to an end and the uncertainty, what's the mindset of getting this started and kind of in light of what's going on in the sports world?
I think it's a sense of appreciation just to be able to just get back on the court, no matter the circumstances, with the limited amount of fans, with, the election finally over, with, everything going on. I think it's just a sense of appreciation that we get to play the game of basketball again. And it's just going to be, you're going to have some nerves. It's going to be a little nerve wracking, just especially for this is for the seniors. This is like our final first game. Then you got guys that coming back from, the rising sophomore, the rising juniors, and just, your expectations to be better than last year. So it would be exciting but it'd be fun at the same time.
And do you prepare for the chaos that might come? You've seen what happened with football. Even some basketball games are already, being disrupted and we're still a week out. I mean, as an older guy, do you kind of prepare for that, or can you just not worry about it?
With everything, you just got to expect it almost, that it's not going to be smooth sailing. It's not going to be perfect, that you have to be ready for whatever's coming your way, especially the biggest, they could cancel a game. Somebody could catch the virus in the middle of the season and you're out. So you're going to have to be flexible and be ready for whatever comes your way. I think the biggest way to handle that is just to approach it like, oh, we still have this opportunity in front of us. We just got to make the best of it.
Got time for the last three questions in queue. We'll start with Joshua.
Matt, this team has a lot of guys returning, everyone from last year, as well as the addition of Greg Brown. How important is that team chemistry, especially in a sport like college basketball? And do you feel like this team can go go far this year? And as a leader, how are you implementing to do that?
Like I said, maturity wins. Maturity wins games down the stretches. Maturity wins championships. It's just being able to carry over that maturity when it's needed, when it's most important, and that's like in between those lines. And when the season starts, we get to the gritty of things. Um, can you follow? Say the rest of your question again too. I forgot.
Yeah, as you kind of mentioned, just how important is it having that team experience, especially the success you had towards the end of the year last year, and for a team like this, being a leader, how important is that in your role specifically?
It's really important. Just to stay connected on, like, we say, a common goal. Like, what's our common goal? What do we want out of this year? And just reminding people every day, like, this is what we're playing for. It's bigger than just us playing against each other in here. It's bigger than our first game, November 25th. It's bigger than playing at Kentucky. It's bigger than all that. It's taking a step every day to just be a better team so that we can achieve our goal of winning some type of championship.
Nick, you're up.
Yeah, Matt, just curious, y'all have been obviously riding with Andrew throughout this whole process, seeing him go through treatment, go through rehab, rebuild his body, get back on the court. What has it been like to see him go through all of that and to get another year and to see him not only, return to the court, but to be a vital part of this team? I mean, what's it just been like to watch this guy go through that?
Andrew's special. He's very special. It's like night and day from his freshman year to now. Well, since I've been here, some days you don't even think about what he's been through because you just see the production he puts in every day on his alone time in practice, and just you know that he's going to be a guy that we need, and he's going to help us win a lot of games.
Last one. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, Matt, I just had a real quick question about talking about being a senior with everyone's eligibility frozen this year. I mean, do you anticipate this is going to be it?
I haven't really thought much about it. People threw out the question, like, are you going to come back, or what's the chances of you coming back? Really haven't thought much about it. I'm just focused on this year, and I know what team we have with us now. And I'm going to make the best of this opportunity, and then whatever happens, happens.
Is that even being talked about, or have guys even mentioned that as a thing?
The buzz was very high at one point when they first came out with it, but there hasn't been a lot of talk about it recently between us or the coaches or anybody. So.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate your time.
No problem. Thank you.
Andrew, I know something Shaka talks about a lot is getting things to transfer over from practice to the game. If that goes according to plan, what do you think people are going to notice that's a little bit different about you guys this year and kind of those specific areas that you guys have really been trying to improve at in practice?
I think people will really notice how aggressive we are on defense, how aggressive we are attacking the glass, and how experienced we are and how fluid we are in our offense and how we flow and how we want to play for each other and try to make each other better.
And Matt mentioned that recently you three guards, him, yourself, and Courtney have been on the same team in practice. What's that like? I know it's something in the past you mentioned about, hey, I have to learn how to play with these guys because I had to play some catch up before last season. How would you describe where you guys are together as a guard group playing together? And what's that lineup look like when it's at its best in practice?
It's something special. The three guards with really good playmaking abilities, able to score and shoot and facilitate for others. So we really built a strong chemistry, knowing each other, where to get each other the ball and our spots, know when to, play off of each other and cut. So, we're starting to build like this strong bond that, when we're flowing and clicking together, it's going to be hard to stop.
Brian, go ahead.
Hey, Andrew. Shaka said the other day that you absolutely have a green light, the greenest of all green lights, I'm sure. Um, what have they told you about your role this year in terms of not just being a spot shooter, but being a constant shooter? You know, kind of like Jace. You know, when you're out there, fire it up.
Yeah, coach mentioned that, I have the ability to shoot whatever shot feels right for me. I plan on being that guy to be a reliable shooter, reliable playmaker, and, defender for this team. So I know I need to step up. I know there's a lot of expectations for the team to do well. So I just want to be able to do my part and help the team win.
And obviously, you know, we all know about your journey. And how does it feel though that you are? It seems to me you are going into a season now where Texas not only expects you to be the man, but you kind of have to be the man to help carry the scoring load and help these guys go where they want to go.
Can you repeat the question one more time?
Yeah, just how good does it feel to be going into a season where your health isn't a problem, and you're gonna shoot the lights out, hopefully for them, and just feel normal.
It feels great. I have a lot more confidence in my ability to, score the ball and also facilitate and make my teammates better. I know I've been putting in a lot of work, and I know my teammates have been putting in just as much work as I have too. So, we're really excited to be back playing again. Really grateful for the opportunity to be here and be healthy. So I'm just going to go out and every night and, play to my best of ability.
Jeff, go ahead.
Hey, Andrew, kind of going back to Dustin's question, you, Matt, and Courtney, it seemed like that 5-game winning streak you guys had at the end of the year, it seemed like something clicked and you guys were all playing well together on the floor. Was it something specific that clicked that kind of allowed you three guys for y'all's strengths to come through, or was it just accumulation of reps? Like, what do you think contributed to you guys it finally clicking, you three guys playing well together on the floor?
I think it was, the point that we needed to trust each other. We're all really 3 ball-dominant, strong guards, lead guards. So it also takes time for, good players to learn to play with each other. And once we learn to trust each other, know each other's spots, we rely on each other, and not necessarily feel we have to make the superhero play all the time, that's when we started to click. So we started to find each other, and, our experience is starting to rub off of each other.
And I know Shaka's talked in the past about Courtney, just his intensity, kind of getting him to channel that in a positive manner. How have you noticed Courtney's growth just from a maturity standpoint, and that passion, that juice he brings, and it getting channeled in a positive manner?
The one thing I know about Courtney, he's learning how to communicate with his teammates differently, and learning how to how people will respond with certain, tones that he uses with them. So he has a great understanding now than he has when he first got here on how to make his teammates better and what will make his click and, what will make us, also go down.
Dennis, go ahead.
Andrew, after your battle with cancer, does this whole pandemic and the corona, does it give you any anxiety, or are you so healthy now that it's not even an issue as you go into this season?
Yes, I still have, anxiety about the uncertainty of the virus and how it could affect somebody with underlying health conditions. I've taken all the right precautions and follow the protocols necessary in order to, stay safe and stay healthy. So I'm trusting that everybody around me in the facilities of Texas are taking the right protocols, to be selfless and just like I am to, try to stop and prevent the spread.
Gotcha. And on a totally different topic, Greg Brown, you're one of the veterans on this team. When you got a talent like that, how is the line of embracing that talent, working him in, but also keeping him grounded and reminded him that he has things to learn at this level?
Greg is real humble. He's real eager to learn and real eager to listen. He's not completely there right now, and he knows he still needs to learn things before he can, go on and pursue his dreams. And, I have a good connection with him, and, he's really coachable. So that's the one thing that he got going for him.
Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, Andrew, Shaka has mentioned the word violence a lot in the few times that we've talked to him. And I know he mentioned that last year too, but it seems like it's something that he's really harping on, that y'all are really harping on this year. So when he says, he wants y'all to play with more violence, how do you take that? What does that mean? And how are you embracing that?
Violence means to me just being aggressive, going after it 100% every play, diving for the ball, going to crash the offensive boards, trying to get to the free throw lines, all the little intangible things that go into basketball that a lot of people tend to overlook and try not to put a lot of importance in. And, with, the new talent and the maturity of all the guys on our team, we're learning how to play harder and play harder for a longer period of time.
And obviously, you, Courtney, and Matt are going to be really important for driving this team. What have you seen from Donovan? How much has he improved, especially after coming off that injury? What kind of role is he going to play for y'all this year?
He's always been, great instincts on defense, athletic, slashing guard. He's really improved on his IQ of the basketball game, knowing which shots to take, knowing what play to make, and he's still learning the defensive rotation. So he's maturing in those aspects that we need, and that's going to make us a good team.
Roger, you're up.
Andrew, when you look at the way you guys played last year, everybody on the roster at some point was a key contributor. That's great, but also there's only so many minutes to go around as a veteran. How do you kind of keep the younger guys from getting frustrated and realize that, the minutes might not be what they want?
You just have to stay humble and make the best of every opportunity that you get. If you go out there for 2 minutes, it has to be the best 2 minutes that you have to play. And that minutes will eventually grow as you become better and make the team play better and stuff like that. So, it's all product of their work, staying grounded and trusting their own process, and that they will be able to shine when it's the right opportunity for them.
And for you, Wednesday, I know last year there was so much uncertainty when you played your first game. Does it feel now like just kind of your story is your story, but now you're just heading into the first game of the season and Andrew Jones, the basketball player?
It's still a lot of uncertainty. I never want to just go ahead and check a box before I actually, approach it. I try to live day by day and try to be in the present moment. So whatever happens on Wednesdays is what's going to happen. I pray that my abilities is going to be able to show and be able to win, play with my team. And, I'm just excited to be able to show my new and improved abilities.
Joshua, go ahead.
Hey, Andrew, we love to see you get back on the court last year and get some solid minutes. You only wound up starting 11 games, so we're curious if you expect to be more of a consistent starter this year.
I'm not necessarily worried about starting. As long as I'm able to play and be able to help my team win, I'm comfortable in any role that I'm put in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brian, go ahead.
Two quick questions, Andrew. Number one, I saw a photo on social media of you without a shirt flexing. You look like, $6 million man. How much work have you put in with Hudie down there?
It's been a lot of great work. When I had surgery on my hip in May, I was able to go home and was able to get back to the basics with my father. And I was able to actually get on a strong lifting routine before I was able to come back to Texas. And as I was recovering, I put on a lot of muscle and a lot of weight. And then since I've been back with Hudie, she's been helping me channel and be able to use my new strength and able to translate it onto the court. So it's been a great journey. I've gained at least 10 pounds since last season, and I'm feeling strong and healthy.
How much you weigh in now?
Like 195.
195. And then totally unrelated, Greg obviously loves to post a lot of stuff on social media. Does he expect to do windmill dunks and all those dunks at Allen Fieldhouse and Lubbock and Baylor? Is he expecting to do that? Does he know that it won't be that easy? I
don't necessarily know if he controls his social media, but okay. I think he likes to give the fans and keep the fans engaged, keep them hyped, keep them interactive, because I think he knows his audience and he knows how to challenge his audience, and I don't think he lets the social media get to his head.
Cool.
Dustin, you're up.
Yeah, Just a quick one. The competitiveness, I'm sure in practice has been high because you do have so many guys that have returned from last year's team. Do you think that this group understands the value of role guys? I mean, so much of y'all is in this guards, but it was also some of those guys just knowing they had to fill roles. Do you think this some of those guys? And if so, has there been anybody in particular that you kind of know, hey, that guy's going to play a role?
Yeah, that just comes with maturity and humbleness of yourself. We got a lot of guys who are starting to realize their role and starting to accept the role, and which really helps us. A guy like Brock, he takes pride in being a glue guy, a hustle guy for us, and that's what we need. A guy like Royce, another glue guy for us, who flies around, doesn't necessarily get the fame and notoriety as everybody else, but the hard work never goes unnoticed.
Got one last one. Go ahead, Jeff.
Andrew, just kind of in your journey back as going back to last year and a half as you got back on the court, what part of your game was the quickest to come back, I guess maybe that you didn't lose, and what are kind of some of the finishing touches, the final pieces you're putting back together that maybe you either didn't get to show last year or maybe we didn't see a ton of last year?
The one thing that came back the naturalness is my shooting. That was one thing that I was fortunate not to lose. Just my ability to shoot the ball and my touch, my IQ of the game. The one thing that I wasn't able to really show was my strength and my explosiveness. I played last year with a torn labrum the whole year, and it's been bothering me for years. And I was finally able to get it fixed. So I'm stronger now. I'm faster and more explosive. So that's what I'm more excited to get back to. The guy I used to know when I was 18.